Your second playthrough in a video game will almost never be as good as your first. It honestly hurts me to even say that to myself because I always look back at my old experiences so fondly, and yet I just know I won't experience the same whimsy as when I played these games the first time. So, why is that? How can we fix it? And can you marry Lydia? These are all things we need to know, but are also all things I just so happen to have a remedy for. I'll be honest. I don't think you will truly ever relive the same experience as your first time playing a particular game, but I know how to actually enjoy them once again. When I first played Skyrim, it was one of the most magical experiences ever, since it was one of my first RPGs. I beat the entire game, explored everywhere I felt like exploring, grinded my smithing to 100, and made Daedric armor. I even told my friends I had Daedric armor, and they just straight up didn't believe me and said I cheated. I looked forward to getting home from school every single day so I could go and play Skyrim during this time. This game left such an insane impression on me that after this, RPGs became my all-time favorite genre. Since then, I've tried to replay Skyrim probably anywhere from 50 to 100 times, and I have never felt the same joy playing the game now than when I had first played it back then. Every vanilla playthrough, I would speedrun the intro, go to Bleak Falls Barrow for this quest, sneak attack these two, pick this chest, kill this spider, kill this guy who's going to betray you, kill the Draugr in the box, and done. You just get used to everything. You know all the mechanics, you know all the main quests, you know all the secrets in a city. Even playing with mods, I've tried it so many times. Even mod packs with 300 of them. I've just exhausted the curiosity and excitement of exploration and discovering new things. That right there is the crux of the issue. There's nothing new. So does that mean all games aren't fun after your first time beating it? No, of course not. And I might just be the weird one here that doesn't enjoy games I used to. Maybe I'm thinking too critically about video games and I really should just turn my brain off and whack some Draugrs. I know Skyrim is a mechanically simple game. All you do is left click, and on occasion you can right click. But a game doesn't mean it's bad or unreplayable based on the number of buttons that you press. Skyrim wasn't magical for me because the combat was engaging. What really carried it was the music, the scenery, the characters, and killing dragons for Christ's sake. It's just objectively an epic game. There's honestly so many exceptions to your second playthrough is never the same as your there's so many games that are meant to be replayed, and actually your second, third, fourth, or even 100th playthrough might be way more fun than your first. Many of those, of course, being roguelikes because those are made to be replayed, but it goes even further beyond that. Multiplayer games, factory and city builders, rhythm games, survival games, ARPGs, the list could go on forever. So why is it that one of my favorite games of all time is near impossible for me to enjoy, but games like these I can play forever? Well, there's two major reasons why that stand out among a clutter of other reasons. Those being satisfying mechanics and low commitment. I replay Vampire Survivors all the time, not because I love the story and lore, but because I just want to be on a power trip and clear my whole screen of enemies. The moment to moment in that game is just fun. I play Balatro because I love the way the cards sound and I love trying new hands. And guess what? Those games only last like 20 minutes. It's not a commitment at all. It's very enticing to replay these games because they're really easy to pick up and the moment to moment is never boring. These games make you crave playing them like a pregnant woman that craves random food items. So, how do you replay a game that has a longer time commitment and has mechanics you already know the inside and out of? I desperately wanted to enjoy Skyrim again and relive a fraction of that whimsy. And there's not a solid solution for all games. I tried replaying The Witcher 3 just recently, and it didn't feel like there was much build variety, and I already knew all the side quests and twists and turns in the game, so I've tried replaying Fallout 3, 4, New Vegas, the Hitman series, the Metro series, the Stalker series, and so many more. I love all of these games, but not a single one did I really truly enjoy replaying them. So I had to do something different. I wasn't just going to play the game as a different build or with mods or even on a higher difficulty. I was going to create a challenge for myself. I mean, after all, what even is a video game without a challenge? If I replayed the same game on the same difficulty in the same way as last time, there's no challenge left. This entire channel came from doing different fun challenges in Lethal Company. I love that game, but I could not have played it as many times as I did if it were not for those challenges. So why not apply that same game logic to Skyrim? With that, I decided I had to really spice up my next playthrough. And honestly, it worked for me way better than I ever thought it would. This entire week, I've been waking up looking forward to playing Skyrim again as if I was a kid all over again. My big breakthrough idea was this: to roleplay in my role-playing game. I know, revolutionary, but please hear me out for one sec. I wasn't going to roleplay as the main character of Skyrim. In fact, the way I wrote my character, he could give two farts that he's whatever a dragonborn is. It doesn't even make sense to him. He's a cat. How could it be born from a dragon? No. I decided to do something similar to Dungeons and Dragons. I've never ever played a campaign before, but from what I gather, you make a character and you make a character sheet. This character sheet could include goals, morals, or even plot arcs for your character. And that's exactly what I did. I just made this simple little character sheet. My end goal wasn't to beat the game and become the Skyrim. It was to be the greediest, slimiest Khajiit to ever set foot in Tamriel. Okay, so the nitty gritty of this playthrough is this character sheet right here. The main goal was to make 100,000 gold, and I'd use it to buy my own land and build a beautiful home and retire. I was only going to go to locations if there was a reason to, meaning I wasn't going to go to Riften to join the Thieves Guild. I would go there instead for supplies before going to Dawnguard and maybe coincidentally get involved in the Thieves Guild. I wasn't going to care about the main story because it sounds boring and dangerous to my character. And a bunch of other smaller restrictions too, like not taking the wagon guide to the major cities, not taking quests if they don't have an enticing reward, and developing a hate for Nords and mages that might eventually lead to me obliterating Winterhold. Who knows? They're all really annoying. Also, I played a build that I've never played in Skyrim for some reason, which is the infamous stealth bow build. Alright, stop typing your comment, just let me play my game, alright? I had decided to play the game on the second hardest difficulty, Master, so that whenever I go out on a quest, I'd have to prep at every city, right after completely robbing all the shopkeep shelves blind. But whatever, that's my character, alright? He can't help it. I also installed a mod that lets me kill any essential NPC, because in Bethesda games, if you shoot someone that gives you a quest, they just get knocked down and have to catch their breath. And I wanted consequences for my actions and the freedom to off whoever I wanted. For me though, the difficulty itself added a whole new layer to my playthrough, and not allowing myself to use healing spells means that every stop at a town was a breath of fresh air. I had to learn alchemy in order to save money at a vendor, but also to craft as many health potions as possible. I had like a health pot addiction close to my skooma addiction. I had so much fun in the early game that I spent like 2 hours in the first town just talking to people, crafting arrows, and stealing from people's homes. Creating strict parameters and using a harder difficulty made this game so much more fun, because I have to use all of my knowledge on the game just to squeak out a single cave with some broke bandits in it. I didn't feel like the main character anymore, but the motivation to get stronger only grew. However, shortly after leaving the starting town and going to the first major city, I really started to lose steam, just like every one of my other playthroughs before. I was originally gonna get to this point in the video and ask you guys for help on how you might enjoy replaying games so that I could finally enjoy mine. And while I would still appreciate that input, I realized something. I really am thinking about this way too much. This whole time, I have been trying to force fun in all of my playthroughs. So I simply decided to just try to turn my brain off. I wasn't going to plan out anything anymore. I was just going to play the video game. And that's exactly what I did and have been doing this entire time I've been working on this video. I've been waking up every day actually looking forward to playing Skyrim again. I still play the game with my restrictions, but I'm a bit more open to trying different things. In fact, I think I'm actually ready to start installing mods again too, because I just want to loot items I've never seen before or do quests I've never seen either. I know it's hard to just turn your brain off sometimes, but man, just thinking about things 5 feet in front of you in the game is so much more fun than trying to plan out your next 20 hours on your save. I've tried so many times to give challenge runs a good try in Skyrim, but adding the extra layer of thinking less has ironically made this playthrough fantastic. This video really is not meant to solve anyone's problems, it's just something you could consider giving a try. And it might not work for you. Like I've said before, not all advice is for everyone. I honestly made this video for myself, to remind myself how to enjoy these old games again. Does this completely let me relive my first experience of the game? No, of course not. Nothing is going to beat that, but it will certainly satisfy my desire to enjoy them again and have fun once again in some of my favorite games. Now, okay, this example only applies to Skyrim and maybe Fallout. I get it. But what about other RPGs? Well, try a permadeath or hardcore run where if you die once, you're done. Play the game in a restrictive way or at a harder difficulty. Install some mods that make things fresh. Make full use of your knowledge of the game, and it'll make encounters more rewarding and exciting. That is the very idea that founded this channel. I love challenge runs, but not all of them have to be for content on YouTube. Just make it on your own terms, and I think you'll have fun once again in some of your favorite games. If not, then such is life. And just stop thinking, seriously. If you have trouble thinking, maybe consider watching the last section of my last video. It could actually help. There will be another game where you get that magical feeling again, I promise you. Could be new, could be old, there's thousands of games. But also realize that not every game you enjoy will be a Baldur's Gate, an Elden Ring, or a Witcher 3. That's all I really got. Subscribe or my Skyrim character will sneak into your house and delete your favorite save game. Oh, also, yes, you can marry Lydia, and I didn't know that for like a decade. I didn't know that until I started making this video. Why did I not know that? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna go do that. Bye.